It's beginning to feel more like the holiday season. I mean, I'm in my sweater. I love sweater weather with cooler temperatures. And if you're anything like a lot of people I've connected with, you're feeling both excited, but also a little bit of dread and maybe like pre-holiday overwhelm, which happens to a lot of people. So today we're going to dive into how you can prepare for the holiday season and reduce that stress and clutter at the same time. Did you know that Americans spend $13 billion with a B, billion dollars every single holiday season on unwanted gifts? And where do you think those unwanted gifts end up? They end up becoming clutter in our homes, and some point down the line, they end up in the landfill. So you have the financial waste, the clutter, and of course the environmental impact, which I think we all need to really start considering in a higher regard. I read a quote years ago, I think on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker. Sometimes those are really good and they stick with you, right? And the quote said this: "We do not inherit the world from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." And I've really thought so much differently about my consumerism habits ever since I read that bumper sticker. So you never know who's reading your bumper sticker. Moral of that story. If you've ever seen the movie The Grinch, the one with Jim Carrey, it starts off by showing this conventional chaos of the holiday season. Everyone scurrying around Whoville, stacks of gifts, 100 high, trying to balance everything, throwing their money at the cashiers, trying to go, get all the gifts for their loved ones. And there's a moment where Cindy Lou Who, who's maybe like 5 or 6 in the movie, looks up at her dad and said, "Is this really what Christmas is all about?" I think we can all take a note from Cindy Lou's line of thinking here. How profound is that? And if you too are feeling a little bit of friction or hesitancy about how you typically spend the holiday season or after the holiday season, feeling stressed and overwhelmed with the amount of things that have come into your home, I want to talk about some really helpful tips here. So do me a favor here, enlighten me. Think about your favorite holiday memories as a kid. Maybe that's baking cookies with your family, putting them out for Santa around the fireplace. For me, one of mine was threading popcorn. Anyone still do that? To put around the Christmas tree and use as decoration. And then did we eat the popcorn? I don't know. Maybe it went stale. I forgot that part of the memory, but regardless, right? Us putting up holiday decorations, maybe ice skating or watching a favorite holiday movie. One of our favorite movies is A Christmas Story. It's a movie I look forward to watching every year. Oh, it just brings back such good memories, and it's always something to look forward to. Maybe it's going out to a tree farm and picking out a family Christmas tree, right? There's so many different ways that we can bring in these experience-based traditions and celebrate the holidays with that as your intention. Because again, going back to, I think a lot of us get so stuck in the way that culture teaches us to celebrate the holidays, and ultimately we end up standing around and feeling a little bit like Cindy Lou Who, right? The stress, the overwhelm, maybe the anxiety, maybe the stress over like maxing out your credit card, or what do I buy this person, and feeling obligated to buy a gift just because that's what you've always done. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to say don't buy any gifts for anyone, but I'm saying, what if you just had a conversation with the people in your life you usually exchange 5 or 6 or 10 plus gifts with and said, you know what if we did the holidays a little bit differently this year? What would it look like if instead of spending all that money on gift cards or material gifts for one another, that we went out to dinner, or we all went bowling, or we all went and did this together? And while I did share a lot of examples of like classic holiday traditions, I want to encourage you to think outside the box. Maybe that means family nature walks. Maybe it means volunteering as a family somewhere, maybe a soup kitchen. Or one thing that we began doing is partnering with our local church to go out and purchase Christmas gifts for children in childcare here in Asheville, North Carolina, that otherwise wouldn't probably be receiving any gifts. And so that is such a profound experience that I'm passing along to my children as we go to the store, and seeing the excitement in my kids' eyes to select these gifts is so powerfully overwhelming. Like, I'm tearing up thinking about it, right? It's such a gift, literally, and it's not a material one, which makes it all the better. And I think that these experiences really foster that true joy that we all hope to gain from gifts and from things. But the reality is, if material possessions brought us true joy, we'd be living in homes filled with stuff and be perfectly happy. But a lot of us feel the opposite. So by experiencing these things or putting intention into putting them into your schedule around the holidays, I think it reduces the need for excessive clutter and excessive gift buying. This reminds me of when I used to every year, just because it was rote and we had always did it, me and my friend would always be like, okay, we're going to spend $25 on each other. So after some point, it ultimately evolved to gift cards. So like we'd both exchange the same gift card to Target to each other for $25. So we had to add that to our to-do list. And then we looked at each other one year and we're like, why did what's the point? Why are we doing this? What if we did something a little bit different? And so that year, instead of spending $25 individually, we put our money together and we went out and took an art class, a painting class, and had so much fun. And it's honestly a memory that'll last a lifetime for both of us, versus I couldn't tell you what I ever bought with the $25 gift card. And so again, it could be a homemade gift, or it could be even donating to a charity that you believe in and support. And I think it reminds us that there's so much joy from giving from the heart, instead of it just being because we always do it that way, or feeling just like an obligatory gift. And so let's talk about holiday decor briefly. I know the stores have the cutest pillows, candles, blankets, all the things that are like holiday infused and make you feel cozy and good, right? And it's so tempting to continue to bring that stuff into your house. So if you were getting ready to decorate and already feeling overwhelmed by clutter, and you're tempted to get new stuff, I highly recommend you watch this video, which I posted last year, which takes you through like the A to Z of how to declutter and simplify your home decor. One rule I do really use a lot for clients is the one in, one out rule with holiday decor. I'm a big fan of this because a lot of people feel like at some point they have enough, but they're just too tempted to bring new things in. So ultimately, it would be better to not buy it in the first place if you already feel like you enjoy what you have. But if you do, use this rule. So for every new decoration, maybe it's a candle or a throw pillow or something you want to bring in, take one out of your house, remove it, donate it, bless someone else with it for the holiday season. This really keeps your holiday decor clutter in check and ensures that the decorations that you continue to have, you're probably going to use and enjoy a lot more because you're not buried in them. Now let's talk about how we can actually bring technology in as an advantage during the holiday season to minimize clutter. It can really help. So using things like e-cards or e-invites, right? You create it online, you send it to their inbox instead of traditional paper ones. First of all, it saves a lot of money. It saves a lot from ending up in the landfill. And it's just a simpler way to get the point across in the invite or whatever message across without having the clutter. And I get it. I mean, there are times where it's really special to receive those holiday cards. But if you do want to simplify that aspect, try this. Also, digital displays. There are so many more frame TVs, which I know cost a pretty penny, but even smart TVs, which can display screensavers. So you can do all kinds of amazing wintry holiday themed backgrounds, and it can really change the ambiance of your home or living room or wherever your TV is without having to go out and buy a painting or buy something and bring something new in. One of my favorites is actually a YouTube channel. I think it's of mostly like Canada in the winter, and it's just these beautiful wintry scenes. So I didn't even choose a static image. It's this 3-hour long video with really nice classical music in the background. It's super relaxing. And if I have guests over, I just mute it and then we enjoy the scene as we spend time here on the couch behind me. I think one reason a lot of us gravitate towards holiday decor is it like infuses the atmosphere with that coziness. So I would encourage you to think about other ways you can do that with just using our 5 senses, right? So we have the visual sight from maybe a background on your TV, but what about sound? Playing holiday music instantly puts so many of us in the holiday mood, even if the rest of our house has nothing holiday themed in it. And so maybe that means adding a speaker or just playing music from your phone to infuse the holiday spirit without all the stuff. Keeping your holidays as stress-free as possible is really going to help you enjoy them. One thing I've been leaning into a lot lately is the ability to enjoy the small moments. And if you listen to mindset experts or life coaches or mindset gurus, what have you, a lot of them say the same thing in different ways, that in order to tap into happiness, it's really about being able to enjoy the moment and be present and find presence. And the reality is clutter takes that ability away from us. So I hope you use this video and these tips to think about your holidays a little bit differently. And if you're getting ready to declutter before the holiday season, you might be facing some really tough emotional decisions. So if this feels like you, if you're overwhelmed by the emotional weight of your clutter, make sure to click the video on your screen now.